This week on Road Trip 101, I want to talk a little bit about maintenance. Specifically, well, let me kind of explain everything here. First of all, gotta ask the dumb question: who's driving? Yeah, it's one of those dumb things that you don't really think about and you kind of take for granted until, you want to think about that stuff now. We got about a month and change before the event. Now's a good time to start thinking about this stuff. So, if I were driving, this is what I would be driving, my Jeep. She's a warhorse, absolutely fun to drive, great car. Downside is that the Jeep is an old Jeep. This is an old car. And with older vehicles, dumb things happen because, stuff has been moving and all that stuff. So with about a month and a half to go before the event, about a month and a week or whatever, this is when I would take her into the garage and I'd have everything checked out. Have a set of expert eyes, look at the belts, look at the hoses, look at the brakes, look at all that stuff. Reason I'm doing that now is that if something needs to be replaced, now's the time to do it. They can say, oh, well, we got to get this part in, it's going to take about a week and a half, 2 weeks to get here. You can say, no problem, I got the time, not a big deal. If you're going to wait till the last minute and they say, oh, well, this thing absolutely needs to be replaced and we don't have it, it's going to take 5 days to get the part, and you're leaving for the event in 2, not so much fun. And not nearly as much fun as it is being stranded in the middle of nowhere because your car broke down. Yeah, maintenance is a good thing, and this is a good time to do it right now. Now, if you're not driving, get on the guy who is driving and tell him, hey, do it now. Oh, I'll do it. No, do it now. Come on, I'll take you. Let's go. It's better to know than to not know, and it's not a guarantee that bad stuff is not going to happen. Don't take it as that. However, it's good to catch stuff well before it happens, so that at least you can have a smooth ride all the way there. There is one other option that you can think about, and I was introduced to this idea when I did the last road trip to EMR, come to think of it, and that is you can rent a car. Now, a couple advantages to that. I actually found a car rental company. I'm not going to name brand names here because I don't want to play favorites, but they were offering me unlimited mileage on a nice sized sedan for about $150 for a week. Now, what that means is that I even called them up and confirmed this because I couldn't believe it. I could pick up the car here on Wednesday in Milwaukee, drive all the way to California, drive all the way to New York, drive all the way back to Milwaukee, and I wouldn't get charged for it, just the $150. So that's an option. Now, why would you do that? Because it's spending money that you really don't need to spend. A lot of people are going to argue that. But in my case, I know my Jeep. She gets a little under 20 miles to the gallon highway, and that's not terribly fuel efficient. I can rent a nice car that gets about 40 to 45 miles to the gallon, and I can save a lot of money on fuel. So the money that I'm spending on the car rental, I'm saving on gas. So it's just kind of one of those trade-off kind of things. That, and it also really kind of keeps a lot of wear and tear from the car, because I'm not driving this car 1,600 miles, I'm driving a different car 1,600 miles. So that's just a thought, just something to think about. The other downside is that if you're under the age of 25, they're probably not going to give you a rental car. I'm saying probably because I'm just playing the odds on this one. So do a little bit of homework, do a little bit of research, something to think about. There you go. Now also, while I'm on the idea of maintenance, now's a good time to do some gear maintenance. So if you take your gun out of storage, tear it apart, and clean it, put it back together. Yeah, I know a lot of people say, oh, I cleaned my gun before I left, before I put it away for the season. Yeah, do it again. It's been sitting around long enough. It's a good opportunity to pick it up, figure out what you need to do. Again, for much the same reason. If you need a replacement part, you can order it. It'll be here in time. Not a problem. This is all the stuff that's just time inclusive here. Now, there's a couple of things since I'm thinking about this. When you're doing the road trip, don't rely on one of these things. You probably recognize one of these, GPS unit, just like that. GPS units are fantastic. Don't get me wrong. But the thing is that GPS units can fail. The batteries can die on them, the buttons don't work, the screen doesn't want to work or whatever. So you don't want to rely on a GPS unit. This is a good time now. If you have never done this before, this is a good time. Go down to the gas station and go pick up a paper map, learn how to read a paper map, and kind of plot your route on it. Paper maps don't fail. They're hard to fold back up, but they don't fail. And also, the advantage of a paper map is that you can look ahead on the map and say, oh, okay, well, I got another 100 miles before I get to this location, so I can plan everything ahead accordingly. GPS units are great for getting you to point A to point B, but you really can't do that with a GPS. You can't really scroll ahead because they're not built for that. They're built to get you from point A to point B. So have both if possible, but if you have one or the other, choose a paper map, definitely. There's a couple other things as far as car maintenance goes and, prepping and stuff like that, but I'm going to get to that in future episodes. Next week we're going to talk a little bit more about gear maintenance, so we'll see you guys then for that.